Claude AI can now control your computer. There was a major announcement yesterday from Anthropic that Claude will now be able to control your computer and perform tasks with just a little bit of your guidance. We're going to look at Claude's or Anthropic's official announcement, and then we're going to get into some of the reactions to this announcement, because when you see the video and you see computer use in action, it's pretty wild. And then we're going to talk about what that may mean for the future of work. So let's get into it. So I'm going to share my screen and you're going to enjoy this official announcement. So as you can see here, Anthropic published, we've built an API that allows Claude to perceive and interact with computer interfaces. This API enables Claude to translate prompts into computer commands. Developers can use it to automate repetitive tasks, conduct testing and QA, and perform open-ended research. So let's watch the official video from Anthropic, which is AI.
I'm Alex. I lead developer relations at Anthropic, and today I'm going to be showing you a coding task with computer use. So we're going to be showing Claude doing a website coding task by actually controlling my laptop. But before we start coding, we need an actual website for Claude to make changes to. So let's ask Claude to navigate to Claude.ai within my Chrome browser and ask Claude within Claude.ai to create a fun 90s themed personal homepage for itself. Claude opens Chrome, searches for Claude.ai, and then types in a prompt asking the other Claude to create a personal homepage for itself. Claude.ai returns some code, and that gets nicely rendered in an artifact on the right-hand side. That looks great, but I want to make a few changes to the website locally on my own computer. Let's ask Claude to download the file and then open it up in VS Code. Claude clicks the Save to File button, opens up VS Code, and then finds the file within my Downloads folder and opens it up. Perfect. Now that the file is up and running, let's ask Claude to start up a server so that we can actually view the file within our browser. Claude opens up the VS Code terminal and tries to start a server. But it hits an error. We don't actually have Python installed on our machine. But that's all right, because Claude realizes this by looking at the terminal output and then tries again with Python 3, which we do have installed on our machine. That works. So now the server is up and running. Now that we have the local server started, we can go manually take a look at the website within the browser. And it looks pretty good, but I noticed that there's actually an error.
And by the way, remember in the beginning, he said a 90s themed website. So it is following the instructions because it does look like a 90s themed website. Plus, I can tell you, as someone who coaches a lot of people, just the fact that it was able to find where its files were effortlessly trumps a lot of humans. And a lot of people don't know where their files are on the computer. And it's doing this with just a couple of prompts, which is incredible.
In the terminal output, and we also have this missing file icon at the top here. Let's ask Claude to identify this error and then fix it within the file. Claude visually reads the terminal output and then opens up the Find and Replace tool in VS Code to find the line that's throwing the actual error. In this case, we just ask Claude to get rid of the error entirely, so it will just delete the whole line. Then Claude will save the file and automatically rerun the website. So now that the error is gone, let's go take a final look at our website, and we can see that the file icon has disappeared and the error is gone as well. Perfect. So that's coding with computer use and Claude. This took a few prompts now, but we can imagine in the future that Claude will be able to do tasks like this end to end.
Incredible. So that was the kind of official video that they shared. And let's look at some of the responses. So some of the responses to this video, they shared some of the capabilities. How would this work in WordPress? Anybody else giddy about Claude learning how to use a PC? Wild, and I'll just say I wouldn't have expected this end of 2024. Ease up on the background music. The future of programmatic shiz posting. Will it be flagged as a bot? Will it be able to pass CAPTCHA? That's very interesting. There are other also AI thought leaders posting on this. This is wild. Anthropic just dropped computer use. So 6 wild examples. 1, computer use for coding. The second example was computer use for automating operations. So let's look at this video.
For a while now. So today we're going to be talking about a very early version we have of computer use and walking through a representative example of the things we think it's going to be useful for.
I haven't seen these yet, so this will be interesting.
We're going to be going through a quick demo today. In this fictional demo, a customer, in this case the Ant Equipment Company, has come to us and asked us to fill out a vendor request form. The data I need to fill out this form is scattered in various places on my computer. What we're going to do is ask Claude to look at the spreadsheet, check if Ant Equipment is in there, and if not, move over to the CRM and try and find some more information there. Once it has this data, Claude's going to then fill out the form for us and hopefully transfer the information across to the vendor form. First thing that's going to happen is Claude's going to start taking screenshots of my screen and quickly realizes that the Ant Equipment Company isn't actually in the spreadsheet. So the first thing it does is it swaps over to a CRM and searches for the company we're interested in. Luckily, we get a search match, and Claude then starts scrolling through the page, looking for all the information it needs to fill out this form. Claude then autonomously starts transferring the information across without me having to do anything, and goes through the steps and fills out all the information.
So one immediate question that I already have running through my head is, if you're running these operations, obviously if Claude's using the computer, you can't. So people are probably going to purchase different computers, or maybe you can, and it just won't interfere. I don't know how that's going to work, but this task alone is so impressive. I could see multiple use cases for this.
And then submits the form. This example is representative of a lot of drudge work that people have to do. This is available in the API. We're excited for people to try it, and we should expect things to get a lot better over the coming months.
That's use case number 2. Number 3, computer use for scenic sidetrack. Not really sure what it did there. Number 4, computer use for orchestrating tasks. Let's see.
I'm going to show you a simple example of computer use today. My friend's coming to San Francisco next week, and I want to take him to do some touristy stuff. I think doing a sunrise hike with a view of the Golden Gate Bridge never gets old. So I'll ask Claude to figure out some logistics for us. I'll ask Claude to find a good place to see the sunrise, to help me figure out timing logistics, and help drop a calendar invite so I remember when I have to leave. It's opening Chrome, going to Google, searching, and it looks like it's found something. Great. So how far away is the location from my place? It's opening maps.
And I know this seems very simple, but I'm someone that gets a lot of questions from people, and there's a lot of people who won't even go to Google and search for simple things, or go to YouTube and look at tutorials to figure things out. So the fact that it's just going to Google, it's putting in, hey, where are the best scenic places in San Francisco by the bridge or whatever it did, and that it's actually doing research and finding, highly reputable sources, you could argue, or like that it's clicking towards the top versus on the fourth page is a lot.
Searching for the distance between my area and the hiking location. Cool. So now it looks like Claude is searching for the sunrise time tomorrow. And is now dropping it into my calendar.
This alone is valuable, right? So it's putting it in her calendar. I wonder if we could also send the other person an invite. You could probably prompt it to do a couple of calendar tasks for the week. And again, this is giving you time back to focus on what it is that matters most and where your skills are most leverageable in your business.
And populating it with some details.
It's even telling them when to leave. So leave Pacific Heights by 6:45 a.m. to arrive with time to park and set up. This is awesome.
And great, it looks like Claude did it. This is a simple example, but we're sharing computer use early to learn from what people build.
Awesome. 5 Claude 3.5 Sonnet New. This new model got a massive upgrade in benchmarks across the board, including agentic coding. So as you could see, it improved in graduate level reasoning by 6%, about 6%, undergraduate by at least 3%. And these things may seem small, but the fact that it could even perform this level of reasoning is really amazing. 6 Claude 3.5 Haiku. This new small model outperforms many SOTA models on coding tasks like GPT-4o at an extremely cheap price. So because this is connected to API, the cost is going to matter. And obviously, a lot of developers and coders are already connected to Anthropic's API and using it that way. I want to test out computer use, so I'll start testing it out that way. But even if you're not a developer or coder, like I'm not a developer or coder, I think that the important thing to recognize is that while the last 2 years or 18 months have been the years of learning language models and testing things like ChatGPT, Claude, Google Gemini, I think that 2025, there's a lot of foreshadowing and good reason to believe that it will be the year of AI agents. So this will graduate to, instead of prompting these models, oh, how do I do this? Or, oh, can you provide me with the code? And even within the artifact, you then have to do a couple more steps. It will be able to take control of your computer and do a lot of these things autonomously. Of course, that opens up a lot of questions like security risks. It opens up a lot of future of work questions, like if somebody is doing these administrative tasks and now an AI can do it, what's going to happen to their position, if it will be there, or if their position will move more towards just verify that these things are correct, that it did the right things. For a small business owner, it also opens up the question of what is the potential possibility? Like how much time can you actually get back? How do you train these models? I mean, I think that this is amazing. And again, it foreshadows within the last 2 weeks, OpenAI, Anthropic, and Microsoft Copilot have been heavily focused and talking about AI agents. They're talking about it early before more and more user adoption. And I think that whatever position you're in, you should really start to think about what would my role, what would my business look like when this takes over? Because at this point, it's not if, it's inevitable. And so share what you think about this in the comments. If you think it's creepy, if you think it's impressive, if you think it's both, and share whatever questions. I'll be testing it out and maybe sharing some use cases that are relevant for non-coders and service-based business owners and coaches. And God bless you. Ciao.